Deadly night. The snowstorm. The snow fell in thick, heavy flakes, muffling every sound outside. Amanda stared out the frost-covered window of her grandmother's isolated cabin. The Christmas lights on the porch flickered in the wind, struggling against the night's cold grip. "Are you sure we can't drive home?" she asked her parents. Her voice trembled slightly. Her father sighed. "The storm's too bad, sweetheart. The roads are closed. We're stuck here for the night." Her mother chimed in, trying to sound cheerful. "It'll be cozy. Just us, Grandma, and a crackling fire on Christmas Eve." Amanda didn't feel cozy. The cabin felt wrong. The shadows in the corners seemed deeper, the air colder, even though the fire blazed bright. And her grandmother, usually full of warmth and cheer, hadn't been the same since they arrived. She sat silently in her chair by the fire, staring into the flames, whispering to herself. Grandma's warning. Amanda approached her grandmother. "Grandma, are you okay?" The old woman's eyes were milky and distant. She grabbed Amanda's wrist with a strength that belied her frailty. "Don't open the door tonight," Grandma whispered, "no matter who comes knocking." Amanda's heart skipped. "Why? Is someone coming?" Grandma's gaze sharpened, her grip tightening painfully. "They always come. The storm brings them, and they wear familiar faces." "Who does?" Amanda stammered, fear crawling up her spine. But Grandma had already turned back to the fire, her lips moving in silent prayer. A knock at the door. Later that night, as the clock crept toward midnight, Amanda sat on the couch with her parents. The storm howled outside, wind rattling the shutters. The lights flickered, the power lines straining against the ice. Then it happened. 3 loud knocks echoed from the front door. Knock, knock, knock. Amanda's mother frowned. Who could that be in this weather? Her father stood, grumbling. Probably someone stranded. "No!" Amanda blurted out. Her grandmother's warning rang in her ears. "Don't open it!" Her father smiled, trying to reassure her. "Honey, people need help. We can't just leave them out in the cold." He walked to the door and peered through the peephole. His posture relaxed. "It's a little girl. She's all alone out there." Amanda's blood ran cold. They wear familiar faces. "Dad, please don't," she begged, but he ignored her. He unlatched the door and pulled it open. A rush of icy air blew inside. Standing on the porch was a young girl, no more than 6 years old, wearing a thin nightgown. Her skin was pale, her lips blue, and her long black hair hung in frozen strands around her face. "Please, mister," the girl said, her voice flat. "Let me in. It's cold out here." Her father hesitated. "Where are your parents?" The girl's head twitched slightly. "They're coming. They're right behind me." Amanda's grandmother suddenly screamed from her chair. "Shut the door, now!" But it was too late. The little girl's mouth stretched into a grin, too wide, showing teeth too sharp. Her eyes, previously downcast, lifted to meet theirs, revealing 2 black, bottomless, the intruders. Before her father could react, the girl lunged. Her tiny hands clamped onto his wrist with inhuman strength. He screamed as ice spread from her touch, freezing his skin to a sickly, brittle white. Amanda's mother shrieked and rushed to help, but the girl turned her gaze on her. The black voids of her eyes seemed to pull at her mother, sucking the warmth and life out of the room. More knocks pounded at the door, urgent, relentless. Knock, knock, knock. Amanda backed away as shadows slipped through the open doorway. Shapes took form. A tall man with a jagged grin, a woman whose eyes dripped black tears, a child dragging a doll with a cracked porcelain face. They filed into the cabin, their presence bringing an unbearable cold. Their bodies were pale and thin, their movements jerky, like puppets on invisible strings. Her father fell to his knees, his eyes wide with terror, frost coating his lips. Her mother's screams faded to gasps as her skin turned gray, her breath forming icy crystals in the air. Amanda clutched the fireplace poker, tears streaming down her face. "Stay away!" The little girl's grin widened. "We just want to play, forever." The only way out. Amanda's grandmother's voice cut through the chaos. "The fire, Amanda! Use the fire!" Amanda's eyes darted to the blazing hearth, the only warmth left in the room, the only light. She swung the poker, knocking the embers out of the fireplace. They scattered across the wooden floor, the sparks flaring to life. The creatures hissed and recoiled. The little girl's face twisted into a mask of rage. "No! No fire! We hate the fire!" Amanda grabbed a burning log with her bare hands, the pain a distant thought. She swung it wildly, the flames blazing brighter. Her father's frozen form cracked, and he collapsed.